Okay, so tomorrow and the next day we're going to be doing Nune, the special fasting retreat with Chenrezig, with Thousand Armed Chenrezig. And the first day we take, well, both days we take the 8 Mahayana precepts. The first day it's the regular thing. We eat one meal at noon and then light beverages the rest of the time. And the second day we don't eat or drink or speak, okay? And so people think when it says fasting retreat, you know, for Nune, that it means the physical fasting. Actually, what we're supposed to be fasting from is our afflictions, okay? So it's a fast of the afflictions where we are giving them up and we don't feed our afflictions. And so that's why, you know, during those 2 days we do the sadhana of Chenrezig. We do 3 sessions a day, and there's a lot of prostrations and a lot of mantra and meditation, and even, you know, so you have your mind on Chenrezig all day long, and even in the break times, you know, you try and keep Chenrezig in your heart, in your mind, say the mantra. You know, so by doing this, then it doesn't feed the afflictions, because when we're thinking about Chenrezig, especially if you've had the initiation and you can do the self-generation, then you know, you're seeing yourself as Chenrezig. So you can't be Chenrezig and be peeved at somebody because they didn't do this and that and the other thing, you know, because Chenrezig isn't like that. Yeah, so when you catch yourself in bad moods, complaining, criticizing, things like that, then you have to come back to the self-identification of Chenrezig and say, well, how would Chenrezig see this situation? You know, certainly not as my afflictive mind is, and anyway, I'm doing the self-generation, I'm Chenrezig now, so I have to really contemplate what is a more realistic and beneficial way to regard this situation. Yeah, and so that becomes especially helpful on the second day when you're not eating, drinking, and speaking, because we have all sorts of habits to eat and drink and speak, don't we? And those impulses come out throughout the day, like, I'm bored, let's eat something. Well, no, I can't. I'm thirsty, let's drink something. Well, no, that's not going to happen. And what happens is you are forced to really take refuge in Chenrezig and keep Chenrezig in mind, because our usual avenues of refuge aren't going to work, you know, when we're doing this retreat. We can't do them. Yeah, so it's very good, and especially when you're doing the prostrations and you're really purifying, then afterwards, I mean, you really take very deep refuge in Chenrezig and ask for guidance and help to, you know, to inspire our mind to gain the realizations of the path. So it puts our mind into refuge, into, you know, thinking of a mind of thought training. Yeah? Yeah, or I'm hungry, or my stomach's growling and I don't like it. Hungry is unpleasant, you know. And I say, well, how is Chenrezig going to deal with hunger? You know, not by the way I do, like saying, well, maybe I could eat a little bit, nobody'll know. And then you go, well, no, that's not going to work because I took the precepts in front of Chenrezig. I don't think I better break my precepts that I took in front of Chenrezig. Okay, so it really, so then we have to deal with, okay, I feel hungry, there's an unpleasant sensation, how do I deal with it? How's Chenrezig going to deal with hunger or thirst or whatever? You know, doing the taking and giving meditation. This is the suffering of all living beings, may I take it upon myself and give them my happiness. Yeah. And you do that, you make your mind happy. So it's a situation where you really, yeah, your mind really has to practice. Yeah, because also on the second day, you can't be writing notes all day long. I'm very, very thirsty. Can't I have just a little bit? Sorry, no notes. Unless you're sick and you need to go to the hospital. Okay, and. Oh, I forgot to tell you this thing that happened 5 years ago, and I've got to tell you today, so I'm writing you a note. No, it's the fasting day. We're giving that up, Okay, so really trying to focus our energy on the Dharma, on Chenrezig. Okay, if you don't have the initiation, then you don't do the self-generation. You do the generation of everything in front of you. Okay, and then in the break time, you imagine a small Chenrezig at your heart, or a small Chenrezig on top of your head, and Chenrezig is there witnessing everything you do, yeah, and inspiring everything you do. So again, it's the same thing, Are you going to sit there and well, maybe I could go in and, go online and watch a movie. In the break time. Well, Chenrezig's in my heart, on my head, and, am I going to feel comfortable doing that? No. Okay, cancel that idea. Okay, how about something else? Okay, so it really helps us deal with things. And so doing this retreat is a very extraordinary opportunity to do a lot of purification. Yeah, it's a very strong purification practice. The lineage lama in the tradition was Bhikshuni Lakshmi, an Indian nun. She had leprosy, and by doing this retreat many, many times, her leprosy was cured. Yeah, so there's a whole history of different people having very good experiences with this. And in Dharamsala, well, actually in all the Tibetan communities, this is a practice that people do on the holy days, especially the anniversary of, Vesak, the anniversary of the Buddha's birth and enlightenment and passing away. So people do it. So we're doing this for Labab Duchen, which was yesterday. This is our Labab Duchen practice. We did it on the weekend so that other people can join us. If we did it on the weekday, then not so many people can come and join us. Okay, but this is what we'll be doing. And it's also good, you really need to have a group energy during this practice, and we're all in this together, we're all doing it together, we're all supporting each other, yeah, and so it's a wonderful opportunity to do retreat with a lot of purification.